Today we'll touch upon an interesting topic named customer perceived value. It is also known as CPV, customer perceived value, CPV. Philip Kotler wants to represent CPV, customer perceived value, in a mathematical form, but in reality it's not a hardcore mathematical equation, but just for our own understanding, just for our own just for our own understanding, it is getting represented in a mathematical form. So it goes like this: CPV is equal to prospective customer evaluation minus, in the bracket, cost of an offering plus perceived alternatives, close bracket. This is how it is getting represented. CPV is equal to prospective customer evaluation minus, in the bracket, cost of an offering plus perceived alternatives. We must have seen this mathematical equation, right? A plus, in the bracket, B minus C equal to. So whatever it is, understand it in that way. So this is what CPV means. Customer perceived value is equal to prospective customer evaluation minus cost of an offering plus perceived alternatives, close bracket. So what does this exactly mean? What is customer perceived value? So I'm sure you must have experienced this particular term in your real life as well. Like, let's say your friend comes running to you saying that, you know what, I've got this product, I've purchased this product, how is it? With a lot of enthusiasm, your friend shows that product or a service to you. You will be like, okay, fine, what is the cost of it? And you say the cost of it, and if your immediate reaction is, oh my god, where did you get it from? I just want to get it. Dude, take me to that place. If this is your reaction, that means your customer perceived value, or your perceived value, what you are perceiving inside your head with respect to that particular product, is very high. That's why you are getting restless. That's why you want to go and buy that product as well. So the perceived value is higher. So the CPV with respect to that product inside your head was high. On the contrary, if your friend shares the price, saying this is the price that I got it for, and if you are like, arey, so sad, I really pity you. You have purchased this product for this amount of money, I really pity you. If this is your reaction, that is when you can conclude by saying that the perceived value, the customer perceived value with respect to that particular product is low. That's why you gave that pity reaction towards your friend. So on one case the CPV was high, on the other case the CPV was low. So what was that factor which was driving the high CPV and low CPV? One of the things which is present in the equation, cost of an offering. Cost of an offering, that's the only factor which was determining. So let's understand this particular equation on a case by case basis. Okay, let's consider case 1. Case 1, so in this particular equation, let's say the perceived alternatives is very high. If the perceived alternatives are very high, then what happens? There is some dilution which happens in the equation. When I say perceived alternatives, what is happening in your mind is, I have a lot of options related to this product, which means there is a lot of competition. There are too many players in that particular segment. This makes you think that you have a lot of options. Examples can be mobile phones, Another example can be the automobile sector, the Marutis, the Tatas, the Hyundais, so many players in the car segment. Another example can be vegetable vendors, where there are too many people fighting for the same space. Certain FMCG goods like shampoos, soaps, these are highly competitive segments, and the alternatives are too high, too very high. If a particular soap brand is nasty to you, it is very easy for you to chuck that particular soap brand. Why? Because you feel there are too many options. So that's why you have to be very, very careful with your customers, especially if you are there in the highly competitive zone. What is that highly competitive zone? If the perceived alternatives are high, when you feel that there are so many options, what happens is your power to increase the price reduces. Are you getting it? You can't charge dal at a hefty price. You can't charge salt at a very hefty price. It's not your wish. You are dictated by the market. Why? Because there are too many players. It's driven by the market. So if perceived alternatives is very high, your hold on the cost, the way you want to price it, is not under your control. And what is under your control? The first term, prospective customer evaluation. What is prospective customer evaluation? Your marketing efforts, the way you want to be perceived. Positioning also comes under this prospective customer evaluation. If you position your product really, really well, then the evaluation towards that product increases. So the way you market your product enhances the first term, prospective customer evaluation. Then if this particular term is enhanced, then there is some leeway when it comes to pricing the product. So you must have seen these cosmetic brands, right? All the cosmetic brands, L'Oreal, Garnier, where they just promote fairness to the astronomical heights, which is very unfortunate. They feel fairness is the most superior thing to possess. This is what they've been doing for the past few decades, and this is what they've been creating tension in the minds of consumers, both women and men. This is what they've been doing. So in the process, what they're also doing is they're actually playing around with this particular term, prospective customer evaluation. So once you induce the tension, once you induce that bit of fear, once you induce the feeling that, you know what, this product has to be owned very urgently. If this sort of a feeling is induced, then this first term increases. Once you increase this first term, then even though perceived alternatives are high, you can also price your product in a decent way. But if this term is low, then the entire equation goes for a toss. Perceived alternatives are high, the evaluation, the way customer is evaluating you is pretty low, then cost, you don't have any control, and that's how you become bankrupt as well. So I hope you are understanding this equation, and you can play around with this equation, assuming so many products which come to your mind, services which come to your mind. How is the prospective customer evaluation? What is the cost of it? What are the perceived alternatives? So you can play around with this particular equation. Let's say another case, perceived alternatives are low. Perceived alternatives are low, and there are two terms which are there, prospective customer evaluation and cost of an offering. Once the perceived alternatives are low, which is an ideal case situation for many companies want to be in this zone. It is also called as blue ocean. Blue ocean, you can check out what is blue ocean after this class. So many companies want to be in this blue ocean. They just want the competition to be less. They want to be the only player in the market. So in this way, what happens is you have control over the price. You can shoot up the price. Since you are one of the very few players in the market, that is when you have control over the customers. That is when you can dictate pricing. That is when you can price it at a very premium rate, and you can get a good margin out of it. And prospective customer evaluation will be anyways high because you know how to market your unique product. So that is how you gain a lot of money. Look at DJI drones. They are also known as the Apple of the drone market. Why? Because the perceived alternatives are very low, and when it comes to costing, they are the ones who dictate the price. Obviously, prospective customer evaluation, one of the SSU student, he himself told me that, sir, DJI is the Apple of the drone market. So this is the extreme case situation where drones are a very new thing, especially to the B2C segment. When I say B2C, it is business to consumer. So drones, when it comes to reaching out to end consumers, it is a very new thing. So perceived alternatives are low, cost of an offering, you control the market, and prospective customer evaluation is there. I mean, you look at the marketing efforts, it's pretty good. So this is how the CPV is structured, customer prospective evaluation. Think of any product. I'm sure after this particular video, when we have that Q&A, you can always ask questions related to CPV with respect to various products. We can have a good discussion provided you ask. Okay, clear? So that's it for CPV topic.